Well, good evening, White County. Don Strength back in here with you from the White County Emergency Management Agency, operating from our Emergency Operations Center, where we have been hunkered down really since Friday, preparing for this storm that we are dealing with across White County. And we really got into the height of the storm last night after about 8 p.m., and it's been all night long and then again all day long today. It's been a long event. We got a lot of heroes in this county, folks. I'm just here to tell you, our true first responders, our first responders, our communications center has just been absolutely incredible. If you guys could only see what goes on behind the scenes here, and we've got over 90% of our staff has been here since Saturday morning. They're sleeping, they're staying here, they're working in 6-hour shifts now, and they are dedicated to serving the citizens of this county, and it's just incredible thing to see. Of course, all of our responders out in the field as well, our fire department, our EMS, our law enforcement, our road department, even in DNR. We have some members of the Georgia National Guard that are embedded with us. Our ham radio operators have been here with us. Our CERT team members are working. Our shelter situation is just incredible to see. The number of people that are working behind the scenes to try to keep you guys safe and respond to your needs as best we can. Of course, our utility companies out there working in this stuff as well. So we come to you tonight with a glimmer of good news. The good news being the precipitation has now come to an end across White County. We do not anticipate any more freezing rain, any more sleet. So the winter precipitation has now ended across northeast Georgia. Our current temperature is at about 33 degrees here at the White County Public Safety Office on Helen Highway, just north of Cleveland. And we've been bouncing back and forth from about 30 to 34, 35 degrees all afternoon, which has allowed some of the ice load to melt on the lower part of the trees. Now, up high, when you get up there, 50, 60, 70 feet up into the trees, the ice load is still pretty much the way it has been all day. And I don't have an official measurement, but if I had to guesstimate, it looks like we're going to end up somewhere between a half and 3/4 of an inch of ice, total ice accumulation. Now, again, keep in mind, some of that has melted. And then when we got that heavy precipitation this afternoon, we had some reaccumulation that took place then. So overall, I think the weather forecast was as accurate as it could possibly be when forecasting a winter weather event here in the Southeast. So the next issue that we're going to deal with weather wise is going to be late this evening or sometime early tomorrow morning, maybe between 10 p.m. and about 1 a.m. We're going to have some pretty strong winds move through northeast Georgia on the backside of this front. We could see winds gust as high as 20, 30, and in the highest elevations, maybe some 40-mile per hour wind gust. Now, my fear is with the ice load that we have on the trees and the power lines, we are going to potentially see many more trees fall late tonight and into tomorrow morning. Of course, that's going to bring down more power lines. We already have about 80% of the power customers in White County without power at this hour. Electrical crews are out there working. They're doing their best to try to get power restored. But when this wind comes through later tonight, I'm awfully afraid that we're going to see more power outages, more infrastructure damage to the power grid, and we're going to see more trees come down. We do have two strike teams from the Georgia National Guard that is embedded with us here at the Public Safety Complex. And those strike teams are going to start working at first daylight tomorrow morning or as soon as it's safe to do so to try to get some of the roadways clear. But here's the thing I want to try to stress to you. Of course, they need to clear the trees, and they will, but not for you to get out there and drive just yet. For the most part, White County, you've done a phenomenal job in staying off the roadways. We have received several calls today, and we responded to several calls today that involved automobiles with power lines and trees. We've had a couple of entrapment calls, that sort of thing. Um, but overall, you guys have done a good job. I'm just urging you now. Stay off of the roadways tonight. Do not plan on being on the roadways in the morning. Our temperature is going to drop well into the 20s tonight. So, any residual moisture that is out there on the roadways will refreeze tonight. And certainly on the secondary roads, we are going to have a lot of slick spots, if not solid covered with ice tonight. So tomorrow morning, travel is going to be a no-go as well. Now, the state routes and the major county roads that have been worked by both departments throughout this entire thing may not be in quite as bad a shape as the secondary roads, but travel is still going to be very dangerous in the morning. We still have power lines down, we have trees down countywide, and we're going to add to that when this heavy wind comes through late tonight, early tomorrow morning. So if you're thinking about getting in that automobile tonight or tomorrow morning, let me encourage you not to do that. Now, we will see what the weather brings us tomorrow. We will be full blown sunshine in the morning. The wind is going to be gusty throughout the day tomorrow. So, with that radiational heating and the wind that's coming in, which may help us dry things up, we'll kind of see where we are tomorrow afternoon with road conditions. And then tomorrow night will be the absolute coldest of them all, when we expect to drop down into the low teens, if not upper single digits, for overnight lows Monday night into Tuesday morning. So I would anticipate that Tuesday morning also will most likely be a no-go on travel. Our hope is that by Tuesday afternoon and then maybe into midday on Wednesday, we will see a great improvement with road conditions. And hopefully by that time, our strike teams can get out there and clear some of these roads up, and make it safe for you to travel. So if you're sheltered in place in White County, I would go ahead and plan on remaining so, most likely until sometime Wednesday afternoon, which is what we told you we thought we were going to have to do going into this thing about 24 hours ago. So this is pretty much playing out the way that we thought that it would. So far, we have proud to report we have no injuries or fatalities across White County as a direct result of this winter storm that we are dealing with. And folks, we want to keep it that way. So please continue to take our advice and do not get on the roadways until we tell you we believe that it's safe for you to do so. Not only is it not safe for you to get out there, but you create issues for the power company and the road crews out there trying to work to restore and recover us from this storm. So please stay off of the roadways. So we continue to operate under full scale activation here at the White County Emergency Operation Center. We are in the response phase at this point. Probably sometime tomorrow, we will transition into the recovery phase, and hopefully, we will begin that process to recover from what's going to go down in history as the more epic winter storm system that we have ever dealt with here in White County. If you look at the maps of where the damage is and where the power outage is at this hour, it's very, very clear. From Rabun County across Habersham County into White County is where the majority of the utility and tree damage is across Northeast Georgia. We've got a few highlights we want to touch on here as we take a look at our situation report that just came out at 6 p.m. this afternoon. Bryce Barrett, our PIO, puts this together for us, and it's just a few highlights I want to hit here as we look at some different stats from this. We again have about 85% of the county without power. That's over 10,000 customers at this hour. And we want to look at, let's see, White County 911 Emergency Operations Center is continuing to operate on emergency power at this hour. Our North Radio Tower at Hamby Mountain is on emergency power. The Daybreak Tower site is also on emergency power. We are operating under emergency power situations here at the Emergency Operations Center, not so much that we don't have commercial power, but that commercial power continues to flux. So we made the decision earlier today to go ahead and stay on emergency generator power to keep those power fluctuations from causing problems with all of our electronics in the 911 center. Helen Police Department is without their CAD system at this hour. They don't have any internet. And so just stuff like that we're having to battle as we try to recover from this disaster that we're dealing with here in White County. And I believe the last time we looked, okay, this is the number I was looking for. Road conditions, the following numbers are an estimate of issues on roadways, just to give you some kind of idea of what we've been dealing with. We have responded to either trees or power lines, or in most cases, both, on 62 state routes, 56 county roads, 34 city roads, and then we have 3 Forestry Service roads that we have also either worked or reported to those agencies as having some type of issue. So those numbers are very high. And it's very telling that we are dealing with and in the process of recovering from a major incident here across the Northeast Georgia mountains. So, again, to recap very quickly, I want to make sure you understand that, yes, the precipitation has come to an end. That doesn't mean we're done with potential damage from this winter storm, because we have the potential for some very high winds later on tonight into tomorrow morning that could bring down more trees, more power lines, block more roadways. So please stay off of the roadways. Remember, only call 911 if you have a life safety incident. And those are the only type of incidences that we're responding to at the moment anyway. So if it's something that's not an emergency, then we encourage you to call our non-emergency number. If you just simply need information, you see that number scrolling at the bottom of the screen. That rings directly into our Emergency Operations Center, and we will answer those questions for you. We have no earthly idea when power will be restored across White County. The power companies are out there working very hard, and they cannot give us an estimate. We do not have, excuse the pun, a magic wand that allows us here in public safety to get information or report information when it comes to power loss. So please refrain from calling us to ask us when the power is going to be back on. And unless you see a life safety situation, it really at this point is useless for you to call us and tell us that your power's out. The power companies know at this point that this is countywide, and they are clearing every circuit throughout the entire county. And if you're without power, they will find it. So there's a look at the current outage map, and you can see how widespread this is across White County, over into Habersham County, and even up into Rabun County. No question, the direction the cold air came from and where the damage has taken place across. I think the 3 hardest hit counties will be White, Rabun, and Habersham, even though there is damage in Stevens and Banks County and back over into Lumpkin County as well. All the damage appears to be on the south side of the mountain, which is exactly where that cold air damming effect took place, and that's where the coldest air was. So that's where the frozen precipitation was, and it looks like that's where the majority of the damage is going to be. We'll continue to keep you updated here on White County Public Safety. If we have any more life safety issues throughout the night, we'll come back and we'll bring those to you. But again, be prepared. Sometime after 10 o'clock tonight, we should start seeing an increase in the wind. Gusty winds 20, 30, and at the highest elevations, maybe 40 miles per hour. And that is just going to add to the issue that we already have. There will be many roads, there are now many roads that are closed and there will be many more roads that will be impassable tomorrow morning, we fear, because of that high wind. Do not travel out there tonight, and please, please do not plan on traveling tomorrow morning. Give us time to get the sun up, and then we'll report out to you the conditions out there on the roadways. We'll let you know when we feel like it's safe for you to be out there. You've done a fantastic job, White County. We're going to come through this thing. We're going to be just fine. It's going to take a few days to get there. Please be patient. We'll be back shortly with more information as conditions warrant here on White County Public Safety.